What's up, y'all? Kyle Hamilton here. I want to give a quick shout out to Lucas, Connor, and Ryan in the Week 0 podcast.
Jackson rolling out, 3rd and 7 after the penalty, and it's a completion to Kuma. He's still running. Kuma breaks free against a tired defense as the Hokies deliver the dagger here in Tallahassee.
Empty look for Richardson.
Oh, that is danger! Oh my! Keidron Smith cuts inside, and he's gonna pick six it in the swamp. Cat scratch fever Smith.
DJ is picked off, intercepted again by Benjamin Morrison. Here goes Morrison down the sideline. Can he go? Yes, he can. Touchdown, pick six, Benjamin Morrison. Nix drops back underneath. Touchdown, Ducks. Wow. Chase Taylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Gold Standard. I am your host, Ryan Fravel, back with Sean at ND Forever on Twitter, my co-host, with a very special guest, the most recent commit, outside of Ivan Taylor, obviously, 2025 cornerback from Brophy Prep in Phoenix, Arizona, Cree Thomas himself. Cree, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come on here and give us a few minutes of your time. But how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a blast. Thank you for coming on. I know you're a busy guy. So let's go ahead and get some, this started. But Sean, first things first, do you have anything you'd like to ask Cree?
Put me on the spot first.
I do.
All right. So obviously everybody knows the big thing is you went to school with Benjamin Morrison as a freshman while he was a senior. I know y'all are close, or I've talked a lot about after the commitment, especially. Has he taught you anything when you were in high school? Is there anything that that you look up to about Benjamin?
First things first. Like obviously, I look up to his play. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the country right now, if not the best. So that's the first thing. And, going to school with him, he was always just, he's the older guy. He's committed to Notre Dame, but he was always super cool. And any questions I had, he always answered. And it's definitely cool seeing a guy that came from sort of the same situation as me, same high school. It's super cool to see that what he's doing at Notre Dame, and just knowing that if I work as hard as him, maybe I could be there too.
Yeah, and obviously being not only a high school teammate, but you went to school with Ben. What are some things that Notre Dame fans don't necessarily know about Ben? That would be something that would be kind of interesting, being a friend of his and knowing him from years ago.
Oh, that's a crazy question. I don't even know. I feel like the things that Ben posts and stuff on his social media, I feel like that's really Ben.
Okay.
He's super genuine on his social medias and stuff, and that's really Ben, everything that he puts out there for everyone to see.
A question that I love to ask is, for Notre Dame fans, it could be you as a player or you as a person. What is something you want Notre Dame fans, Irish Nation, to know about you as a player, person? What are they getting from Cree?
I've said this a couple of times, but really just I'm a competitor, like no matter what, I'm going to go and I'm going to prepare the most I can for each game, watching film, giving every single rep in practice. I'm going to compete because that's just what I love to do. I hate losing. So every single week, every single game, I'm just going to go out there and I'm going to compete at everything, on the field or off the field. I'm a competitor.
Perfect.
So one thing I like to ask a lot of recruits is, in your recruiting process, what that was like for you. Because I know each recruit has their own unique journey that they go through in the recruitment process. So kind of tell us what it was like, your recruiting process, how that was for you, And then what led you eventually to picking Notre Dame as your home?
Oh, my recruitment process was super good. I'm blessed. So I got my first offer freshman year. I was offered from Oregon, and so ever since then I started getting more and more offers, and I'm super blessed for that. I've talked to a lot of coaches. I got super close with a lot of the coaches along my process, but ultimately I just felt a connection with the coaches. They were super genuine the entire time. They told me how it was. They told me the truth about everything, and also our relationship. Me and Coach Mickens and Coach Bowden and Coach Freeman, we all built a good relationship. So I felt comfortable going there. And obviously, Notre Dame that's playing football on the biggest stage, and that's what I've always dreamed of. I just always wanted to play football on the biggest stage. So Notre Dame was a place to be, and not to mention the education.
Yeah.
Can't really beat a Notre Dame degree.
So when you're playing football on the biggest stage, right? Let's say something happens, Cree Thomas interception, right? All right. What's a nickname that you have, or something maybe you grew up with that like Notre Dame fans can be like, I don't know, like Cree D. I don't know.
I don't really know. I don't really have a crazy nickname. I mean, when I was younger and I played Pop Warner ball and stuff, my coaches would call me 20 Money.
That's sticking.
Yeah,
I hope you know that's sticking, Cree. That's sticking.
So when I scored, they would call me 20 Money, and some of my friends in high school and stuff, they'll call me that, just messing around when I make a play or something. Yeah, 20 Money.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we've had the Terminator on the show.
Yeah.
We've had, and now we have 20 Money on the show.
I've been 20 my whole life, so it just went together.
So, obviously, like you spoke about your relationship with Coach Mickens and Coach Freeman, but I know all of those guys were obviously involved. But who on the coaching staff do you think had the biggest impact on your recruitment?
They all had a really big impact, but of course, my position coach, Coach Mickens, super cool guy. I was in constant contact with him. Obviously, he's the one who reached out and called me and officially said I was getting the offer and stuff. And just Coach Mickens, the relationship we built was super cool. And yeah, he was definitely a huge part of it. And Coach Bowden as well. He's always brought super fun energy and everything to any conversations we had.
Sean?
Yeah. When it comes to, playing in Brophy, you're playing at the highest stage in Arizona, as we were talking about in pre-show. What are some of the challenges that you face as a player that you're like, the things that you want to improve on, and the things that you're like, this is me. This is the type of like player I am. I'm a aggressive tackler.
I just think that at this stage in my career, I'm trying to improve in every aspect, everything, whether that be coverage, tackling, returning, anything a part of my game. I'm just trying to make all of it the best that it can be. I love to cover. I love man coverage.
Yeah.
And I know how to play zone coverage really well too. So I just practice all of it in my craft, and definitely just want to improve every single day and be the best player I could be.
Perfect. Golden plays a lot of man coverage, so I'm sure you're gonna like that. What was your parents' reaction to Notre Dame? Their support of you. What was their, along with yours, like when you first were thinking about Notre Dame? What were they thinking?
Oh, they love Notre Dame. They loved everything, but I think that's where they wanted me to go from the start. As soon as I got that offer, and then when we went on my first visit there, seeing just the atmosphere of the campus and just the education process that they have over there, they loved it, and so did I. So that was ultimately big part of me going to Notre Dame.
Now, I know you took your last visit, I believe, for the USC game, correct?
Yes.
So what was that experience like? I was there. Me and Sean were actually both there for the game. First time me and him, if ever, in our whole lives being Notre Dame fans, got to storm the field. So what was that atmosphere like for you?
It was crazy. That was definitely probably like the craziest game I've been to. Just I've never seen a fan atmosphere like that, and then just being able to beat up on USC the way that we did, and how well the defense played, and storming the field and sitting with all the recruits and commits. That was definitely an awesome experience. For sure, one of the best games I've ever been to.
If you heard screaming on every third down on defense, that was me. That was yelling the whole time.
No, it was awesome because everyone was into the game the entire time, and you could just tell how much the fans get involved, and it really the energy, you could tell how much it affects the play on the field.
Yeah, that was probably the second most electric game I've been to all year. Nothing quite beat the Ohio State game, but just to be able to storm the field and stuff, that was definitely special. But on your trip there, obviously you had the game, but what are some things on that trip that were your favorite parts of that trip, that kind of like maybe stuff you didn't completely see yet, have known, but what were some things that were like that stick with you when it's in terms of that visit?
One of the things that really stood out to me is how close the 24 commits already are. They were up there, and they were talking like they've known each other their entire lives, and you could tell that they're really close, and family culture is a huge part of Notre Dame. So that was definitely, I was like, wow, these guys are really tight knit, and I was like, we can do that with the 2025 class, and we're getting closer and closer every single day.
Perfect. Yeah, the 24 honestly might be the most close class I've ever seen.
For sure.
And so a lot of them have been committed like you since their junior year. And then they were able to develop those relationships, which was awesome to see. So when it came down to Notre Dame, what made you pull the plug in your during your junior year? Was it just like this is the place for me, 100%?
I knew that's where I wanted to go. I was like, there's no point in waiting anymore. Like, it doesn't get much better than this, Of course, like we've already spoke about, like the education and just the family culture there, like, and the coaches showed me so much love throughout the entire process. And then after I went to the game and everything, it doesn't get much better than that.
It was all over here. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we like to ask recruits this all the time, but obviously as a corner, growing up, what were some of your guys that you watched, maybe in the NFL, maybe college, maybe other high school guys you played with, but who are some guys that you took after the most in terms of your game on the field?
I've always been a Jalen Ramsey fan.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always been a Jalen Ramsey fan. Super crazy corner, of course, and yeah. So I watched him growing up. I played quarterback and receiver.
Ooh.
I also played defense too, but
okay.
I also played so I watched a lot of the offensive side of the ball as well. That's hard. There's a lot of guys, but I would say Jalen Ramsey was the guy that I watched a lot.
That's a good player too.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah.
He's probably the best. Still the best corner. He's been the best cornerback in the NFL for the past few years.
He's not better than Patrick Surtain, but
oh yeah, I would be before my games watching some Jalen Ramsey highlights. I was ready.
We'll have to get Cree. I'll have to get you watching some Patrick Surtain highlights, man.
Oh, I watch Patrick Surtain highlights for sure. Yeah, he's a dog.
My question is that's because that's an interesting comparison. We got to know, Cree. Like, do you talk? Are you a talker on the field? Like, are you?
No, that's the thing, Jalen Ramsey's a big talker, so I knew when I said that was going to come up. But no, I don't really talk on the field. I kind of try to let my play speak for itself, and
I thought it in my head. Too.
I love it though. I love it though.
That's more of like a Mickey thing, Ryan. All right.
Oh, dude, I've heard from tons of players that Jaden Mickey just he talks. But it kind of that kind of plays into maybe that brophy culture, because I know Ben, he's not a big talker either. But man,
I always say
he's very physical.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess another question for you would be, Cree, is coming into your you're just finished wrapping up your junior season, but going into your senior season, what do you think your strengths are? What would you say your strengths are as a cornerback? And what are some things that you think aren't necessarily weaknesses, but are things that you think you should improve on before you get to South Bend?
I think that my football IQ is a huge part of my play at corner. And of course my preparation. So that's just where it starts. I'm super big in the little details of the game. So I'm going to be up at night watching so much film and, just seeing the play, before it happens. I think I always get to the play quick just because I pay attention to the little details of all the game. I think I'm really well in coverage, both man and zone. And I'm only going to be continuing to improve on those aspects, So it's not certain like little things that I need to improve. I really focus on trying to improve all my game.
Do you for your senior season, or even just terms in your first year at Notre Dame, are there any goals you have as to, it could be just developing into a college corner, it could be being a rotational, it could be a starter, winning awards? What are some goals that you have?
Going into my senior year, I just want to play the best football I can. Of course, to help my team win. That's the first thing. Just doing anything I can to help my team, and also just to develop into a college cornerback, and just being able to get to Notre Dame ready to play at the biggest level.
Awesome.
I also like to ask a lot of recruits this. Growing up, was there a specific team that you rooted for growing up in college, or because it's interesting to me, and if so, what was that team? And then also, have you ever, how familiar were you with Notre Dame before your recruitment process?
So I never had like a specific college team that I rooted for. I just love to watch college football. Growing up, I was a Giants fan.
Okay.
But that switched eventually. So, I have a stepbrother who plays in the NFL for the 49ers. So I've started to root for them a little bit, or not a little bit, a lot. And, and when you said, what did I know about Notre Dame? I didn't know a lot about specifically like what goes on campus and stuff, but of course everybody knows about their football. So I obviously knew that was a huge stage to play on, and that would be amazing if I ever got the opportunity.
For sure. And then another thing is, we talk about Freeman and what he's done. He's going into year 3 now. So as a recruit, what would you say to other kids who are maybe, and other recruits that are maybe thinking about Notre Dame, about, the culture and what Freeman's building there? Like, if a player asked you, like, hey, Cree, I'm really thinking about going to Notre Dame, what is some things that you would tell that person?
I would say that if you want to go to a team that is like family, I would say Notre Dame is the place to be. Everyone really cares about each other, and the coaches, they show so much love, and you could tell that everything is genuine on campus. And I can already tell, being a recent commit, just with the other 2025 commits, that we're family, and we're going to continue to build that family culture.
For sure. I like to ask this too. It's going to be probably the second one by the time you get to college. but have you thought about NCAA coming out on that PS5?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I thought about it for sure. I still have my PS3, and I still sometimes turn on the NCAA 14.
Yep, me too, man.
No,
Yeah.
I'm ready for the new ones to come out and be on one of them.
So
Oh,
we
yeah.
can so we can lock it. We can count on Cree Thomas being in the game. Let's go.
Oh yeah, I want. Yeah.
I better not get burned. All right.
Yeah, right. Wait, while we're on that topic, Cree, like we talked about, pre-show, kind of because Logan had posted a poll like last week about who's the fastest guy in the 2024 class. So, talking about the EA game, if you had to give your speed rating, what would it be?
My speed rating. Give me 90 speed.
All right, all
okay.
right.
Yeah.
I'm starting you. Depending on your answer, I was gonna be like, maybe I'll just wait another year and then.
No. Get those stats up for sure.
Okay. What about what do you think your man and zone would be? Because I know that's big for a corner.
Oh, those
99.
Those gotta be, 99.
Freshman year, he's going to be a 99 overall quarterback. Even if he isn't, when the game comes out, we're adjusting those sliders. All right?
Another question I got for you, because obviously you guys as recruits are more than just football players, so we kind of like to give fans outside perspective of what you guys are like off the football field. So kind of tell us who is Cree Thomas? Take away the football player. Who are you as a person, and maybe some things that Notre Dame fans don't know about you that you think they should.
Some hobbies.
Yeah.
I've mentioned the family culture a lot, and I think that really just comes from my household. I'm a really big family guy. They come first in me, so that's the main thing, and then my friends too. Those are my brothers. So, love going out with them. One of my hobbies, I actually started getting into photography a little bit.
Ooh,
So
okay.
I've been taking some pictures. Might make a little Instagram, during this 7-on season for the pictures and stuff. But yeah, I love my people and my family, my friends, and coach, everyone around me. And I think that that could also translate to the football field as well.
Awesome. He's gonna make it big in photography.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
I wanted to bring it up too because we were talking about speed. So we saw the 2024 class poll. I was bringing.
Oh
this
yeah.
up. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's laughing. So if you had to choose your top 3, doesn't have to be in order. It can be if you want. Top 3 fastest players in your class. Who would it be?
Oh, the thing is, I don't even know if I can answer this yet. No, I might need to keep it at a question mark because I'm not trying to stir nothing up in our group chat. I might have to leave it at a question mark for now. But I'm gonna be watching those highlights, and I'm gonna.
No, you know what it is. Cree knows that the minute he says something, Deuce is gonna be like,
"Oh yeah,
what are you talking about, man?"
Hey, safe answers like Dixon or something.
Yeah, the safe answer is Davion. Yeah,
he's number one. He's number one.
But obviously, going, you're gonna be in Notre Dame in 2025. So, kind of this goes hand in hand with you off the field. What are you planning on majoring in? Do you have any idea yet?
So I don't know yet. Still
Okay.
Figuring that out. But like I said, I really like the film aspect. So I was thinking something that has to do with television or anything like that. There's always business majors that I might want to focus on, and yeah. So haven't really decided yet, but definitely have some things in mind.
You have a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of time. Yeah.
So no stress of that. And I mean, film, that'd be awesome. They always say do what you love and it's not a job, right? So do you think with photography, like movies is something that you would want to?
No, for sure. That would be super cool. So
Cool.
Dude, if we get Cree Thomas videos like how we got Roderick Estime videos like in the offseason, Freeman's gonna do that with you, right, Cree? He's like, hey, I'll go on camera. By that time, it might be, I love CJ Carr. Like, that's what they're gonna have Cree do. But any other questions for Cree, Sean?
I don't. Do you?
I got one more for you, Cree, and this is kind of a fun one. But out of all the guys in the 2025 class, because I know we have to
turn stuff up, man.
But because I've seen Logan and I've seen Deuce go at it, but who's the best Fortnite player in the 2025 class?
And Madden player.
And Madden player.
I like Madden. It's gotta.
I don't know. I haven't hopped on with everyone, but Deuce been talking a lot about his Fortnite game. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to hop in with Deuce and see what he's talking about.
All right, Cree. Well, I appreciate you coming up here, man. Anytime you guys take the time out of your days to come on here for 20, 30 minutes and kind of just let us do this little interview. We greatly appreciate it, man. Congratulations on your commitment to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I know me and Sean both can't wait to see you playing in the blue and gold in 2025. Thank you for coming on, man.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you guys.
Of course. And I want you to know that, Irish Nation, Notre Dame fans, they're everywhere, always going to support you. And we're super thankful that, like he said, for you to be here. And whenever you step on Notre Dame, you got your family, your brothers from Brophy, Notre Dame brothers, and now you got 7 million people there that support you all around the world. So
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Good luck your senior year and next year, and work on those Fortnite skills.
Yeah. Hey, and maybe next time before you get on campus, we can have you on again. That way we can find out if Deuce Knight's Fortnite game is really that.
Y'all should do a Fortnite
I think I'm the best Fortnite player, but we're gonna have to see. I gotta hop on with you.
Do a tournament and just stream it. That'd be pretty cool.
Okay.
No, because you know what Deuce will do? He'll screenshot and be like, "This is rigged." He's like, but all right, Cree, appreciate you hopping on, man. Take care and have a good night, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Yep. Thanks, man. Another interview in the books, Sean, for the Gold Standard podcast. That was one of the funniest interviews we've done.
Yeah,
that was great. We got the black screen Sean over here.
Yeah. Whoa, you see that? Is it like a little corner?
What? A little corner?
Do you see my whole face?
Yeah, I see your face.
Oh, hold on. Let me leave and come back. Hold on.
You're good. Anyways, guys, that was Cree Thomas. One of the latest commitments in the Irish 2025 class while we wait for Sean to hop back in. We got some news to get into, obviously. The most recent commit in the Notre Dame 2025 class was elite safety from the state of Florida, son of former NFL cornerback Ike Taylor, Ivan Taylor. He's a safety, a top 100 safety in the 2025 class. Committed to the Irish over the likes of let me get Sean back in here real quick before we keep going. We're talking about
my bad.
You're good. We're talking about Ivan Taylor so far. He just committed. He's the most recent commit. Besides Cree, in the 2025 class, picked Notre Dame over the likes of Florida State, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Alabama. He is a top 100 safety out of the state of Florida. And like I said earlier, son of former NFL cornerback Ike Taylor. This is a huge pickup for Marcus Freeman in the Fighting Irish. Sean, what are your thoughts on this pickup and just how big of a pickup is it?
Well, I wanted to say, too, I don't know if they heard me, that the Cree Thomas interview was awesome. Great young man. He's going to do great things in Notre Dame. Best interview I've done, so I was super, had a lot of fun. And, I think it's going to be great things for Taylor. I mean, he's a top 100 player. He's the son of an NFL defensive back. Thank you, Lev. And I think he's going to ball out when he hits the field. He's going to be the next X. Throw up the Ivan Taylor X.
I've seen people say he's the next Kyle Hamilton. He's the highest rated safety that we've landed since Kyle Hamilton. A lot of sites actually have him rated higher than On3 does. On3 has him as the number 10 safety in the country, just outside the top 100. I believe 247 is the highest on him at this point, having him as the number 6 safety in the country. But what do you like about Ivan Taylor's game, and where do you see him projecting at the next level?
He's just so balanced. He's a balanced safety, and I think that's extremely important, especially when developing one right away. Some of them come in really good at coverage, and they got to work on their tackling. He's pretty good at all the above, right, which is why he's the top 100 player. He's going to come in and probably have rotational time as a freshman.
Yeah, I see that too. Now, how do you think this fits into, you got Ben Minnick in there, you've got Tay Johnson, he's going to be fighting for the spot there.
Yeah.
And Adon Schuler. So do you think by that time it'll be Ivan Taylor, or do you think he's got to wait a little bit?
Well, I think one of those two transfer. Right.
Oh, really?
I mean, it's just the world of college football we're in now. I think one of those two will transfer and he'll come in.
I think we need to talk about too, Marcus Freeman loves NFL players' sons.
Yes, he does. Dude, he just got we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he Kennedy Urlacher. All right. Yeah. Like he said, you know what, your dad played in the NFL?
You got the genes for it, I guess.
The genes for it.
But overall, I think I agree with you. I think Ivan Taylor is one of those day one starters at safety for Notre Dame when he gets there in 2025. Man, I think we need to talk about the job that Chris O'Leary has been doing the last, few seasons.
Oh, yeah.
While he hasn't recruited the best at safety, he's converted a receiver and Xavier Watts into a Bronco Nagurski award winner in just a season.
Does it feel like I will say this one, I would much rather have a developer than a recruiter. I'd rather you develop a 2-3 star into an NFL talent than have a top talent and him not work out.
I think you've got to have
a balance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still recruiting 4 stars,
yeah.
which are good. So I think he does good. But I will say that does X, right? Does it feel? I mean, well deserved. I love that he won Defensive Player of the Year in college football. It was a great year, especially from USC and on. But did it feel like he was our first since Monte Teo to win that award? And I told my wife, I was like, he well deserved it. He was awesome this year. But did it feel like the Monte Teo impact? Or was he just so good that his presence was there and it wasn't like Monte Teo impact and Kyle Hamilton impact? But he was so good, and he got the job done. Yeah,
and that's the thing is like, last year a lot people bashed Chris O'Leary for losing Caleb Downs and Peyton Bowen, which were their own kind of situations. But you realize how good of a coach you have to be to get a kid that was playing receiver, was moved to the defensive side of the ball. You forget, Sean, he played Viper last year, in certain spots, and now he goes to safety and wins the Bronco Nagurski. That doesn't just happen without
deserved. I love his story. I love it.
Oh yeah,
I loved his speech when he said like people expect us. He didn't exactly say this, but it was something like this when he said, people expect to start right away, but sometimes patience and being developed is the best answer.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely got, a lot in the tank. And he will be playing for the bowl game that was announced. He has not made a decision publicly yet whether or not he will be returning or declaring for the NFL draft. But regardless of that decision, he did say he will be playing in the Sun Bowl versus Oregon State on December 29th. While we're talking about the bowl game really quick, let's talk about it. Notre Dame goes on to El Paso, Texas to play the Oregon State Beavers, who, if we talk about a program that's going to be looking completely different in a couple weeks, Oregon
State and Notre Dame.
Yeah, Oregon State got hit a lot harder, though. They lost their starting quarterback and their backup quarterback.
Well, we just lost a bunch of receivers, right? And some
Yep. But
still
Oregon State will also be without Damian Martinez. He got suspended for this game.
The running back. And they'll be without their backup quarterback.
Yep.
So, no word on Hartman, no word on our offensive lineman yet. But, if they play or not, it's a top 25 bowl win. At this point, I didn't get the argument of fans like, oh, I wish we played in the ReliqueQuest. Well, I do wish against LSU. Other bowls, it doesn't matter the bowl location,
Yeah.
if it's not a New Year's Six bowl or playoff game. Like, I don't care if it's the Sun Bowl or the Pop-Tart Bowl or this, if it's not a big bowl, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the location. I just care on matchup. And it's a top 25 matchup. A chance to get another top 25 win for Freeman in the record books. Another one this year. And also a chance to get a 10-win season for Notre Dame. And we're 0-2 against the Beavers. I don't care if they're depleted. I want to win on that board. I'll beat them with one player to get that win. I'm tired of that Oregon State stuff. And it's their last Pac-12 game. Technically. Pac-12 season, right? So, boop, bye.
And what's funny, this is a kind of a cool stat I came across. The new head coach for the Beavers is Trent Bray. He won the InsightBowl.com Bowl against Notre Dame when they blew us out, and he was the game MVP the last time Oregon State played Notre Dame. So you don't think that he's like, oh, I'm the coach now?
Well, he won't be coaching the game.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yep. So he will be their coach next year, but won't be coaching the bowl game. I posted that in a thread on 3 and was told that because I saw that stat and I was very intrigued by it.
What are your thoughts though on how the ACC handled this, with them kicking basically shadow banning Notre Dame from their top tier bowl games, and kind of just shipping them to a lower tier game, all because of what happened to Florida State?
Yeah, I wasn't that mad about it like you were. I know you were pretty upset about it. For me, especially after seeing how happy the Sun Bowl representatives were, almost crying pretty much, saying that the best, most productive financially the city's ever been was when Notre Dame was there a decade ago, and now they get to come back, and they were just so happy. And you know what? That's what it's about, right? It's not like people like, what if we were playing Rutgers, right? Like, it's not a ranked game.
We would have been playing Rutgers in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah, so I would have been more upset about that because I wanted a ranked opponent. I like the Oregon State matchup. It does suck that they're depleted. This is what we've come to. But I will say the 12-team playoff, I think, will fix that in the bigger bowl games, because no more opting out of New Year's Six bowls, etc. But it does make me intrigued if they're going to move the transfer portal, because if they do a playoff and these big teams start losing players to the portal who aren't playing, that means they're losing depth. But what if they move it too late in like January? That's when spring practices, early enrollees are, and then they don't want to lose things. They want to have their team by then. So it's tough. There's not a big timeline for transfer portal. So those small bowl games are going to continue to get depleted and not as impactful as they used to be. But I will say that after I saw we got screwed from the ACC, it was a little frustrating. I was like,
what do you think their whole motive behind that was? Well, Florida State got screwed, so we're gonna
Well, I think
punish
that
Notre
definitely
Dame for
shocked
whatever reason.
that Florida State wasn't going to be in. So that ruined all their plans. We were going to be in the ReliaQuest Bowl, arguably, or the against Kansas State. So their plans were ruined. They had to scramble. I think that they were just kind of. I mean, we beat NC State. We had a better record. We should have been in the NC State against Kansas State, probably, right? But
Yep.
I think they had like a little bit of an agenda, but it's fine. The ACC is the ACC. You know what? They got it worse. So,
Do you think this, kind of tarnishes that relationship between Notre Dame and the ACC, or not at all?
Not. I mean, a little. I mean, having to draw out a hat for Notre Dame seems kind of weird. I liked it though.
Oh, and telling your top 3 bulls they're not allowed to pick Notre Dame.
I think that a little bit. Notre Dame's probably frustrated with it because in their contract they are authorized.
I mean, think about it, Sean. NC State, a team we blew out on national TV. Clemson, yeah, they beat us, but they're 8-4, have a worse record than us. They're going to get to play in higher regarded bowl games than Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. But I mean, like I said, if it's not New Year's Six Bowl, it doesn't bother me. The only Notre Dame ACC game Notre Dame cannot play in unless it's a playoff game is the Orange Bowl, and so I mean it is frustrating that they said we couldn't go in those bowl games. I think that tarnishes the relationship between Notre Dame and the ACC a little bit. Yep. But Notre Dame will continue being this because it benefits Notre Dame.
Yep. All right, let's get into the next topic we got. Notre Dame got a few commitments in the transfer portal within the last couple days, one of which I'm going to pull up his highlights here. It was Chris Mitchell from FIU. First of all, Sean, what were your thoughts on Chris Mitchell, and what do you think he brings to the table to the wide receiver room in 2024?
He's going to be our best wide receiver since Chase Claypool. They're different players, but Chase Claypool, he's so explosive. There's a reason he was even though it was early, a top 10 player ranked in the transfer portal and a top 3 wide receiver on most sites in the transfer portal. Big get after losing all those receivers. We still expect to get 2 or 3 others. I don't think the Washington State kid is going to end up committing. He's going to take a visit to Texas Tech, I believe.
Yep.
So I think after he went to Notre Dame and he scheduled another visit, I don't know if Notre Dame's going to wait around too long for him. So Clemson wants to watch, but this dude is electric, right?
1,000 yards and an offense at FIU. I mean, and for people that don't know, FIU is not a pass-first offense by any stretch of the imagination. They're a very run-heavy offense, and for him to have 1,000 yards in a run-heavy offense is even more impressive. And for all those people that, like I've seen on social media, oh, well, he played at FIU against trash teams. His stats are inflated, blah, blah, blah. He played Arkansas and had a 100-yard, over 100 yards receiving, a touchdown, and that was on 7 catches. So he played against
Liberty
Power
too.
5.
Liberty's a New Year's Six Bowl team, like it or not.
Yep.
So that's a good one. He's a go up and get it type of guy. He's one of the fastest Notre Dame receivers will have, but instead of just having speed like a face on, he's going to go get it, make those catches. He's just an all-around receiver. Seems to translate. Who cares if it's group of 5 or power 5? I think if there was the 2 positions that probably translate the most to group of 5 and power 5 are probably wide receiver and maybe quarterback at times. But yeah, I mean, wide receivers, I mean, if they got the stuff, they got the stuff. If they don't, they don't. So if they got the stuff in the group of 5, they probably got the stuff in the power 5. So I'm super impressed with this guy, and he's going to be our wide receiver 1 at the edge. Like, it's going to be him, Greathouse, probably Jayden Thomas, and then Deion Colsey, Cam Williams, and our other transfer coming in. We're going to get deep. Woo-hoo-hoo. At first, it was so sad. You were just like, Flores. And then it was like, who gives a shit?
Who needs him? No, I'm joking.
But no, I'm excited. He's a great get. We got another one, but I wanted to also talk about, I mean, I want 2 to 3 transfer wide receivers. because right now without that we have about, including the freshmen coming in, I think eight scholarship receivers, 9 including the transfer Chris Mitchell. So I want to be at a 10 or 11, and
Yeah.
I'm super, and wide receiver coach too. We'll talk about that. I'm sorry, I'm scrambling because I'm
No,
excited.
you're good, man. So a little bit more about Chris Mitchell. Obviously, I'll pull this up graphic I made. But with Chris Mitchell, committing to the Irish, does he become, as of right now, the best receiver in the room?
Yes,
Or do you think that that's Jaden Thomas or Deion Colsey?
he's the best receiver in the room.
Okay. Where do you think you think he plays that slot? You think he plays boundary?
He'll be our star. He'll be opposite of Jaden Thomas. I don't know yet if that's gonna be wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, like which side he'll start on. But he's not gonna be a slot. We have too many slot receivers.
One thing I like about him is he's not the biggest guy in the world, but watching him play, you wouldn't know that. He's very physical, very physical.
That's it.
But let's go ahead and move on to the next commitment that Notre Dame received over the weekend, which was Jordan Clark, the son of another former NFL corner, Ryan Clark, who, funny enough, Marcus Freeman was on his father's podcast earlier this year. Was also seen in a video with Ryan Clark and his son Jordan Clark earlier this year for a video they did for Notre Dame. What are your thoughts on this commitment from Jordan Clark?
Yeah, our first transfer commitment. And what a one. He had over 100 tackles in his time at Arizona State. He's going to replace somebody that, let's be real. When Thomas Harper came, we were like, we knew he was playing nickel, and we knew it would be Clarence Lewis and him, but we didn't think he would have the impact he did. It's going to be tough to replace Thomas Harper. So I will say that we needed nickel, and I think we got a good one. I think we got probably this is a perfect get for a nickel corner, our safety. So he's going to be underrated, just like Thomas Harper was, is what I'm going to say about him. And then he's going to be somebody that comes in and proves a lot of people wrong. And I'm excited about it. And he's been doing it his whole career. Who cares if he's the son of Ryan Clark? Like, he's coming in, he's getting 100+ tackles, playing at Arizona State. He's going to Notre Dame. People are like, he'll play nickel, but boom, he's going to be there. He's gonna start next year, and he's gonna surprise some people, and that's what I'm excited about.
I like his tenacity. He's a very hands-on DB. Good thing for him. Notre Dame runs a lot of man. Guess how 80% of his snaps at ASU were in man coverage. And those 80% snaps, he only allowed 40% completion in his 4 years at Arizona State. That's really good. That's really good.
You can flip a coin if it's going to be a catch or not.
That's really good. And I think I've seen people say he could be better than Thomas Harper. I think Thomas Harper did really well. I think Thomas Harper overachieved than what we originally expected from him, especially with Antonio Carter there. I believe many of us thought Antonio Carter was going to be that guy, but we'll just have to see. But I think I agree with you. I think Jordan Clark is that guy who plays the nickel. He's I love his tenacity. Like I said, he's one of those guys that he's going to be in the picture. You may catch a ball on him, but he's going to make you feel it afterwards.
Oh yeah, and he's underrated. That's my thing about him. Is not a lot. Oh my God, we could get all these receivers. We could get Riley Leonard. We could get this. Yeah. Nobody's talking about him.
Yeah,
but it's important. He's an important depth piece starter that we're going to get next year. And I hope he's watching, because he's going to prove a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, in the portal news, Speaking of Antonio Carter, we did lose him a couple days ago. Pull this up. But he was that guy that we thought was going to be Thomas Harper, what Thomas Harper ended up being. Just didn't work out at Notre Dame. So he's in the portal right now looking for a new home.
Yeah.
We'll briefly touch on this, but what were your thoughts on Antonio Carter entering?
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't know he could transfer
right away again. I didn't know
because for once. I don't know if because he went FCS to there, but I'm pretty sure you can transfer once and you can't go another year transferring right after. And I think you can't play that year. I thought that was the rule, but I may be wrong, but I'm surprised because
no. What it is so he used his one transfer where you get to go free, but because he's a grad transfer now, he gets a freebie.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he's gonna be good. He'll go to a Vanderbilt or something, I bet. UMass could go to an Ohio University, but I mean I like his play. I thought he was gonna stay. Us losing Ramon Henderson, we got young players at safety. I was kind of hoping he would stay to be a rotational piece.
I just never understood why he could never
see the field.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we were just expecting a lot from him right away, but
he had a lot of offers from every big. He had an offer from Bama, Auburn, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Every big player last year wanted him, and I remember you and me were very excited about this pickup for Notre Dame. But yeah, maybe there's something going on we just didn't know. Maybe Thomas Harper was just that good to where he couldn't see the field.
Yeah.
But
he didn't see the field over Clarence Lewis either. So, which I like Clarence Lewis at nickel, not boundary, but corner. But I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
All right, we'll move on. So some more news. We got two guys that were taking visits along with the quarterback. We'll bring up the quarterback first. Well, I've got it pulled up. His visit was today and tomorrow.
What's his name?
Riley Leonard.
Oh my God.
Riley Leonard is taking his official visit right now. Probably not right now, but today and tomorrow, along with fellow receiver transfer portal target from Notre Dame, Bo Collins.
Wow.
So we'll touch on this first. There are a lot of speculation that Riley will commit tomorrow. That is not me saying that's going to happen. That is just what I've seen online. There's a lot of speculation about that. So overall, what are your thoughts on this? Because I think it's interesting that Josh Kelly, Bo Collins, and Riley Leonard all scheduled their visits around the same time. And I'm sure they all talked today. But what were your thoughts on that?
It's good they're all together. Leonard's bringing his guys. Who's following him?
If you pay attention to his Instagram followers list, that's who Notre Dame's going to get in the portal.
Oh, yeah, hopefully. I hope if we can land Leonard in one of those receivers, I'd be happy. I prefer Collins, I think to say, of the two wide receivers.
Yeah.
So, landing Riley Leonard, I think he fits Notre Dame's offense more. I think he fits especially Notre Dame's offense more with Audric Estime. But, whether he comes back or not, probably going to the draft with Love, Price, etc., it's going to be great to see. He's a run-first quarterback, so instead of when they're stacking the box and they think we're going to give it to Love, he can keep it. And that's something Hartman couldn't do. Right? And people say, he only had 3 touchdowns last year. The year before, he had 20-something touchdowns passing. He can throw the ball, too. Goolsby loves this pick. And Goolsby wasn't the biggest fan of Hartman. So maybe he's on to something there. Maybe he's on that Leonard's going to be the prodigy king for Notre Dame. I don't know.
Well, I also think Leonard, another thing, I think the reason Notre Dame wanted him, because I've had people say, well, there's Cam Ward, there's all these other guys. besides Cam Ward and Riley Leonard, name a quarterback that's in the portal right now that can move as well as those two guys. Well, Notre Dame's not going after Dante.
I know, but
like
you said to name a guy.
Yeah. I mean, outside of Dante Moore, Riley Leonard, I can't work.
Walker Howard, but not as good as those two.
Walker Howard isn't even really that mobile, to be honest.
I like him. He can move a little bit. He ain't like Sam Hartman where he can't run. Like,
but I think the thing is also if you're Notre Dame, you look at, you're going to be very young and inexperienced along that offensive line next year. And one thing that Hartman could not do was he got pressure on Hartman. It was either going to result in one of two things: a sack, or he was going to throw a ball up and you were going to have a 50-50 chance at a pick.
I think that Leonard can escape more with a young offensive line. That's going to be important because he's going to get pressured.
Also, even though he only played 6 games, and I thought this was an interesting stat, or 5 games, Riley Leonard led the entire college football, the nation, in sack avoidance percentage, which means on dropbacks, when there was a pressure, guys had their hands on him, he avoided 44%. That was his sack avoidance that led all of college football. So that means just because somebody touches him, he's got a 44% chance.
You saw Notre Dame versus Duke, Clemson versus Duke. Florida State would have lost to Duke with Jordan Travis. They were up Duke with the ball in the red zone when he got hurt. Duke would have won that game.
So, if he was healthy, they for sure would have won that game. Just in general,
you're talking like, oh, this helps Notre Dame, this and that. If we land Leonard, you're anticipating him starting.
Oh yeah.
But I thought it was Angeli peanut butter jelly time. What? Come on, man. No, I'm excited to see Angeli in the bowl game, though, if Hartman does not play. I want Hartman to play, though, because I'd love for him to go out with a big win. But maybe they'll kind of do rotational if he does. But, seeing a little bit of Angeli is going to be good for all of us because I want it to be an open quarterback competition.
All right, let's pull up, the next thing to talk about here, which is Bo Collins taking that visit as well. I'll pull up his stats here in a second, or not his stats, but his highlights here in a second. But
yeah,
what are your thoughts on Bo Collins? I know you said out of the two, if you only get one, you'd want Bo Collins. Why?
Dude, he is a beast. He is, like, I wouldn't say like as big, but man, he is shredded, man, for a wide receiver. Shredded. Like, he's a very aggressive. He's not, I'm gonna beat you with my speed. He reminds me a lot of Miles Boykin.
Yeah.
So that's why I want a boundary receiver like that. And if we can get him next year, we're making the playoffs. With like, I love it, man. Like, I love him as a wide receiver, and he was good at Clemson, right? He showed flashes, and I mean, it's not like you can't use the FIU excuse. He's playing at Clemson. Like, I think I like him more than Chris Mitchell.
Oh, really?
I do. He's my favorite of all of them because I think we need a receiver like him and have been needing a receiver like him.
I know we were hoping Jaden Thomas would be that guy. And he did not be that this year, but kind of speak more about, what you mean when you say, like, he's a guy that's going to go up and get it. Like, what do you think? Because I've seen also people bring up, well, he was kind of in Clemson, and, he never had a 1,000-yard season yet. He's been there for 3 years. Does that concern you at all, or do you think that was just more to do with Clemson's quarterback woes and their offensive woes the last couple of seasons?
Yeah, your answer below, but I think it's very much similar to Notre Dame, right? I don't think he'll be a 1,000-yard receiver at Notre Dame. I think he could be a 700-800.
Yeah.
But I think he could be a multiple touchdown type of guy, like a Kevin Austin in the red zone. Like, he's going to go up and get it. 50-50 shots that Sam Hartman couldn't make. He's going to go up and get it. He's super talented. Like, look at that. I mean, that was a perfectly placed ball. He didn't have to go up and get that. But, look at that. Like, he's going to get it. That's what I like about him. We need a receiver that's just going to take a hit and not a super fast receiver, which I love having, but we need someone who's going to catch the ball. And look at that. He's going to catch it. That's what I like.
And I'm of that mindset that I think, because if we remember correctly, he was a big target for Notre Dame back in the 2021 class, was a top 100 recruit. I don't know if you remember, but Tyler Buckner was like, anytime he'd be interviewed and asked about there was one player he'd like to bring with him to South Bend, he always mentioned Bo Collins. But why do you think do you think he ends up at Notre Dame? You think he ends up elsewhere?
I have a feeling he might end up elsewhere, but I think if Leonard can bring him in, like, I think he can. I hope we get him, like, because we need a receiver like him.
I think, and I'm also of the mindset, I think his stats and stuff in play were dictated more because of Kid Klubnik and DJU just not being the best. I think more of that also is the offense at Clemson has been atrocious the last couple seasons.
Yeah.
We got to see that firsthand. I was at that game. I can't tell you how many times Bo Collins was wide open and Kid Klubnik threw it in the dirt.
So, yeah, I mean,
overthrown. Like,
he's there, man. I mean, he's good. I hope we land him. We never talked about last week about Rico Flores leaving.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We can actually get into that right now. Let's talk about it. So Rico Flores, he entered the portal last week, but I know this was one of the guys you were hoping did not leave. But what were your thoughts on this whole situation?
The only transfer I wouldn't say surprised, because there were rumblings, but I was surprised about. Just felt like he played a lot as a freshman. He wanted to go to Notre Dame to get out that environment in California, and then he wanted to leave. It was a little weird. Definitely had the I was close to Chancey Stuckey vibes, and when Freeman fired him, that's the vibes I got from it. So that was my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it hurt me because I thought he was I think he was probably our second best receiver behind Jaden Greathouse this season. He was one of those guys that when Sam needed like a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 8, especially when Mitchell Evans went down, Flores was the guy that Hartman would hit on that drag or slant, and he'd get the first down. So while I don't think Rico was, like that superstar level talent at Notre Dame, I don't think he had that. I think he was a serviceable receiver that you would have loved to have going into next year. But who knows, man? There's always a chance that some of these guys you could get back in the fold.
Not after what Freeman said.
What do you mean?
I mean, he was asked about Flores and Tyree leaving.
Yep.
And he said, when people get their degrees and go, you understand. But he said he was very, what was the word? Very disappointed when they leave before getting their degree. And you could just tell that I don't think he's going to pursue Flores.
That very well might be true, but like we've seen this before with Notre Dame under Freeman. He was able to get Houston Griffith. He went to the portal. He got him back.
Yeah.
I believe Ramon Henderson. DJ Brown. DJ Brown, I believe, entered last year.
Those guys had their degrees, though.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So that was the Rico Flores news. Let's talk about the third receiver in the portal that for some reason Sean does not like. No, I'm joking. Thinks that Bo Collins is better than I agree, but I still think this kid is definitely special. And if Notre Dame can get all three, that's a huge dub. But we're talking about former Washington State receiver who entered the portal, Josh Kelly. Formerly, this is his second transfer in a row. Transferred last year to Wazoo from Fresno State, where he was a superstar receiver. He did deal with injury this year. Otherwise, he would have been a 1,000-yard receiver. But he was here today and yesterday. But he is going to be taking a visit, like you said, to Texas Tech this weekend. So overall, what were your thoughts on, this guy being one of the big targets for Notre Dame? And what do you like him? What do you like about him? And how big of a land would this be for Marcus Freeman and the Fighting Irish for the 2024 transfer portal?
I think it'll be a very good land. I want depth, and I think he would be a great addition. I don't know if he would start over Mitchell, Greathouse, and Thomas next year. I think he would come in a lot and play a lot. I think that when healthy, he's somebody that could be a great talent. I'm not confident in him going to Notre Dame right now just because of him already scheduling another visit to Texas Tech, which surprises me because I feel like Wazoo is better than Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if you're going to the portal and Notre Dame offers and needs receivers, it surprises me. But he might not be a Notre Dame fit. Maybe that's why you never know. Maybe he just wants to view other schools. But if he ends up at Notre Dame, it's going to be a good get.
Yeah. Where would you rate, because I was asking people this. If Notre Dame gets Riley Leonard, Bo Collins, Josh Kelly, Chris Mitchell, Jordan Clark, and say we fill all the holes we need on the other end, like a defensive end, maybe a D tackle, maybe another Viper, offensive lineman. Do you think we can maybe start to say maybe Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame won the portal in 2024?
Oh, definitely. And I've heard rumblings about that kicker from South Carolina.
Yeah. Antoine Wells. There's a lot of rumors swirling about Notre Dame and Juice Wells. We're not going to talk about that on the show because, it is a rumor, but just kind of some food for thought. But
just sprinkling in there. I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah. Riley Leonard did follow Juice Wells. As his Instagram following has shown us. Guys that Notre Dame wants are guys that Riley Leonard follows. As he's followed Josh Kelly, Bo Collins, every Notre Dame.
He's going to Notre Dame. Come on. No, hopefully we get a commitment soon from him if he does. But I like. I think it would be an A+. We'd get all the pieces we need. We'd start to have Freeman guys playing, and I couldn't be more excited. This could be an 11-1 team next year that makes a 12-team playoff. Have a home playoff game.
Yep. That's it for the transfer.
No, it is
news.
not.
It is not.
I was waiting. There's one big thing you're missing, buddy.
Who am I forgetting?
We got a new guy probably coming in for our wide receiver coach.
Oh yeah. With all the transfer portal stuff, it slipped my mind. Oh, actually, we do have one more thing. We have another thing to talk about along with that. Tyler Buckner, the return, the prodigal child, has returned.
I love it. I love Tyler Buckner.
He returns to play lacrosse.
I hope he walks on. Maybe Faison will tell him to walk on, and maybe we'll get him as a running back or receiver. I don't know. Maybe he'll be the next Avery Davis. But no, he's going to play lacrosse. He's going back to Notre Dame. He's a Notre Dame guy. I was surprised. But you love to see it. Go Tyler.
Yeah, I love to see it. Hey, people are gonna want to watch that Notre Dame lacrosse team so bad now.
Yeah.
But no, I thought that was interesting. Let's talk about the guy that Notre Dame hired for their new receivers coach. It's not
the sexiest hire.
No, it's not official.
Yeah,
it's official, but it's not official. That's what we'll say.
Yeah.
But they hired Mike Brown, the receivers coach from Wisconsin, formerly the receivers coach for Freeman and Co. And Fickell back at Cincinnati. So another Freeman friend hire, as people are calling it. I actually like this hire. I know there are people that are like, well, you should have went out and got the Washington OC. You should have done this, this, and that.
He ain't leaving Washington after making.
Yeah, no, or not OC, but Washington receivers coach. Why would that guy come to Notre Dame?
Only to be an offensive coordinator to upgrade.
Yeah.
He would need to. Yeah, no.
Notre Dame would have had to overpay for that guy for him to come.
Yeah. And this guy right here has got experience with Freeman. He's developed guys in the NFL. And what I like about him, and I really like this hire too, is that he's kind of an opposite of Stuckey. Stuckey was a good recruiter. Didn't seem like he was good at developing. This guy, I heard he wasn't the best recruiter, but at the same time at Wisconsin, when they run the ball 50 million times, I mean, Notre Dame does too now, but I mean, Wisconsin's been always known as a running team. And then you got Cincinnati where you're not going to get those big recruits. At Notre Dame, he's probably still going to get those 4-star recruits. He's getting Cam Williams, and even though Stuckey recruited him as a 5-star, if he can develop Alec Pierce into an NFL wide receiver and others who are 3 stars and below, what do you think he can do with Cam Williams? He's a very good developer.
He's put 4, so think about it. In the last 2 years, he's put 4 receivers in the NFL.
Yeah. And Notre Dame's put probably 0 in the last 4 years.
Kevin Austin was the last guy to go on not even
he
Kevin
didn't get drafted.
Austin.
The last guy was Ben Skoranek.
Yes, I for some reason I thought Kevin Austin got drafted.
That's why he shouldn't have left, but it's okay.
But no, I like this hire, man. I think especially when you're trying to clean the room out of what happened with Stuckey and all that drama. I think it's good to bring in a guy that you trust and kind of level that out. But our commits seem happy with it. Our recruits seem happy with it. So I'm happy with it.
And our coaches seem happy.
And our coaches are happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, Rico Flores can be unhappy with it. But, Bo Collins is happy with it.
Riley Leonard might be happy with it.
I'm going to
Cam Williams is definitely happy with it.
So was Logan.
Yeah, Logan was too. But yeah, crazy cram-packed show today. We went over more than what we usually do. But that's just because of how much information and news has been breaking the last couple of days. I was actually kind of didn't know what to do today because I got on my phone and there's no Notre Dame news. I'm like, we just had a week where there was Notre Dame breaking news every single day. And it's quiet. I don't know how to feel about it.
I know. And Joey Tanoa too. Not Tanoa. On a blank, but the guy who medically retired is now transferring to. It's something I wanted to bring up. Great young man, medically retired, and he's going to try to play football again. But no news today, and I was like, come on, are we getting a Riley Leonard commitment? Are we getting another visit lined up? I'm waiting for it.
Nope. I kept checking Twitter, kept refreshing.
All day at work. Come on. No reception, but come on.
But all right, anyways, another great show as always, Sean. Again, shout out to Cree Thomas for coming on the show.
Great young man.
Great young man, great interview as always. One of the better interviews we've had. 20 money. Cree 20 money, Thomas. Again, thank you for taking your time coming on the show. And really quick before we head out of here, because guys have been getting on me about doing this. We gotta, talk about our sponsor, W Energy. It's all natural. It's none of that canned stuff, garbage that you get from a gas station or your local Walmart. It's all natural, no added preservatives. It's way healthier for you and gives you the energy boost you need. So for all the gamers out there, all the people that stay up all night, refreshing on Twitter, looking for that Notre Dame breaking news that Riley Leonard is going to commit.
Or if you're in the military and you got to wake up early, I know who that is, and y'all drink all them energy drinks. Trust me, I was in the military, and
Yep.
Y'all be drinking. Use that 10% off.
Yep. It's 10% off your entire order. They also have a lot of Christmas deals going on right now. So it stacks on top of that. So this is the perfect time to go get you some Dubby. My personal favorite is the Dub Sludge. So it is Ryan Fervell approved and stamped that it is good. So go get you some Dubby Energy. Go to dubby.gg. Use code WEEK0. That's week0, all caps, for 10% off your entire order. And get you some shaker cups while you're at it too.
We got to start doing these in the middle of shows.
Yeah, we do.
And we should do what Mike Singer is doing with his live shows of having people record questions.
Oh yeah, that would be cool to do too. But anyways, guys, we've been on here for an hour and 17 minutes, but thank you guys for all tuning in. We had a ton of people I know on Twitter that tuned in. Thank you guys as always. And as always, this has been your host, Ryan Fervell, with my co-host, Sean, at Indy Forever on Twitter. Go drop us a follow. We'll be back next week, hopefully with some more information. But as always,